Hello, welcome back. So now in this part, we will start our design example. We will try to solve it. So first we will see what is the problem. So this is our problem that we are going to solve. So in this, we have to see the figure or the plan, which is showing the structural plan of an office floor of a multi-storied building of the following specification like basically it is a plan of a floor, so there will be a live load which will be equals to 3 kilonewton per meter square. Floor finishing will also be there, including the ceiling plaster. So for that the load is given here. Similarly, provision of removable light partition, so light partition may also be provided on the slab, so therefore the load of light partition wall is also given here, which is 1 kilonewton per meter square. And the grade of concrete for reinforcement to be used are M20 and Fe415. So now to understand our problem, we will now see the structural plan. So say this is our structure plan, which is including the column, and center line of along the column is marked. So these are the center line. So along these center line we will be providing beams, and these are the panels. These are the panels where we will be providing the slab. Now in this case you can see this edge and this edge is discontinuous for this slab, and this edge and this edge is continuous. So that becomes our first case of slab. Similarly, if we talk about the second slab, in this case we can see this edge and this edge and this edge. All three edges are continuous, and its one edge is discontinuous. Similarly, if we talk about the third panel, this one, if I say this as S3, so in that case you can see S3 is identical to S1. Similarly, if I name this as say S4, so you can see S4, S3 and S1 is identical. If I name this as S5, you can see this one and S2 is identical, and this again say S6, it is also identical with S1. So in this plan you can see there are basically two types of slab. One is of type 1, say S1, which is having two edges continuous and two edges as discontinuous, and the second type of slab as S2, which is having three edges continuous and one edge as discontinuous. So this is our case, and you can see if I design S1, if I design slab S1, then slab S6, S4 and S3 will be designed automatically, because all the reinforcement detailing that we will be calculating for S1 will be same for slab panel S6, S4 and S3. Similarly, the reinforcement that we will be designing for panel S2, it will be similar to panel S5. So basically there are basically two types of slab that we are going to design. So I hope now this problem is understood. And also the center to center distance is given here. So this distance is 5 meter. This distance is also 5 meter. And similarly here, this distance is 4 meter, this is 4 meter, and this is 4 meter. So basically our slab is of same size, which is 4 by 5 meter, but their edge condition is different, and that is why their design will be different. So now we will start our design problem. So our first step will be same. We have to find out design constant, which is MNJR. We already know what is the grade of concrete and what is the grade of steel. So based on that grade, we can easily find out the value of sigma CBC from the IS code as 7 Newton per mm square and 230 Newton per mm square. So after that, we will find out the modular ratio, and the formula for this is 280 by 3 sigma CBC. Putting the value here, we get the value of M as 13.33. After m, we find out the value of n, and the formula for the same is here. Putting all the values, we find out the value of n as 0.29. So that is the value of n. Now, after that, we will find out the value of j, which is 1 minus n by 3. So putting the value of n here, we get the value of j as 0.904. And after that, we can find out the value of r. Putting all the values, we get the value of r as 0.91. So this is our first step that we have followed in the previous lecture problem also. So this is the same step. Now we will move to the step 2, where we will be estimating the slab thickness. So again here we will be using a thumb rule, and based on that thumb rule, we will now try to find out the value of effective depth, a tentative value of effective depth as short span by 30. So short span of the slab, for both slab, the short span is 4 meter. Okay, so our short span will be 4 meter by 30. So that is the thumb rule that we will be using in restrained slab. And based on that thumb rule, sorry, there should be 30. And based on that, we find out the value of slab. I think I have calculated this with 25. Anyways, by dividing with 25, we get the value of d as 160 mm. So this is actually the tentative value of the slab. So assuming the moderate exposure 30 mm, then overall depth of the slab becomes d plus effective cover. Effective cover can be calculated by getting the value of clear cover and half of the dia. So in the second step, we have assumed that we will be using reinforcement dia as 8 mm dia. Okay, so putting the value 160 plus 30 plus 8 by 2. So ultimately the total value of the slab thickness becomes 200 mm. I mean, it becomes 194, and roughly we want to round off this value to the higher side. So ultimately the thickness of slab becomes 200 mm. So basically this thickness is the tentative value. We have not verified whether this thickness is sufficient or whether it is way too much. So this will be verified only when we will find out maximum bending moment which will be generating in this slab. So that we will check in step 5 or 6. So for the start of this problem, our first estimation of the thickness is say 200 mm. Now similarly for d provided, what d we will be providing based on this overall depth, because here we have round off this value. So final d provided in this step 2 will be 166 mm. So for our calculation, we will be using d provided until it is proved that it is way too much or it is less than required. Until then, we will be using this value 166 mm. Now our next step is to find out the calculation, find out the effective span. And you can see in the plan, we have seen that column center to center distance is defined, like this distance was defined there. So say this is 5 meter, and similarly if I make this remaining two column, so this distance is also defined there. So we will, for the timing in this problem, we will assume that these are actually the effective span of the slab, because this distance is given from the center to center of the column. So here we will consider that our effective span will be 4000 mm in case of shorter span, and 5000 mm in case of the longer span. Now our next step is to calculate the load. Now load value is already provided in the question. So based on that value, now we will find out the value W. So I have already explained that in the previous lecture also, because we design slab as a unit strip. So basically we actually find out UDL at unit meter square. So say this is 1 meter and this is 1 meter. So basically we find out load value on this unit area only. So what is that load value? So first we will find out the dead load. So in the dead load, it includes the roof finishing or ceiling, I mean along with the ceiling plaster. So in the problem, it is already mentioned that roof finishing with ceiling plaster, its load will be around 1.08 kilonewton meter per meter square. So if we multiply this one by one, we get the value as 1.08 kilonewton. So that is the load of finishing at this unit area. Now, similarly, for this unit area, we will find out the self weight of slab for this unit area. So that becomes 1 into 1, that is the unit area multiplied by the overall thickness of the slab, which is 0.2, multiplied by the density of RCC. So getting the value as 5 kilonewton. So this is the load on this unit area for the self weight of the slab. Now, after that, removable partition wall load is also provided in our problem. So that load is provided there as 1 kilonewton. So 1 into 1 into 1, that becomes 1 kilonewton. So that is the total dead load for our slab. Similarly, we will now find out the, yes, so total dead load becomes, if we add this value, and this value, this becomes 7.08 kilonewton. So that is the total load. So total load is 7.08. Now beside this dead load, we have live load also, and live load is also mentioned in the problem, and that live load we can take as 3 kilonewton. So in the problem it is mentioned that 3 kilonewton per meter square. So it means for unit area, the live load will be 3 kilonewton. So that is why I have written the value directly here as 3 kilonewton. Now, adding the total dead load and live load, we get the total load as 10.08 kilonewton. So that is our total load for this slab. So now in step 4, we have calculated the total load. Then in the next step, now we will find out the value of aspect ratio as lambda. So lambda is Ly by Lx. We can easily find out this value because Ly and Lx is already known. So the value of lambda is 1.25, which means it is less than 2. So this value also proves that we will be designing our slab as a two-way slab. So here we will first identify what is the edge condition. So because in this case, we will be designing both the slab S1 and S2. So here, if we try to understand the edge condition for S1, so it is two adjacent and are discontinuous, or edges discontinuous. And if we talk about the case of S2, in that case also, one short edge is discontinuous and other three edges are continuous. So that is the edge condition for these two slab panel. So now we will continue our design in the next part. In the next part, we will find out now what will be the maximum bending moment and what are the different type of bending moment existing in our slab. So that we will see in the next part. Thank you.